Hello guys, I'm Super Ron, welcome back to the G Unit and welcome to episode 20 of my GBS Zero build. In this episode we need to go out on a little road trip because I've just had the call from the machine shop that we've been waiting for that all my engine parts are ready for collection. So let's go and have a look at them. So this is where the camera normally flies around and gives you a little introduction and a catch up on how the car's progressing. But I've got a bit of an admission to make. I've had an accident. And also, I've got a little bit of explaining to do because the people that know me will have known the timeline of the videos is a bit off at the moment because I actually broke my foot on Christmas Day. Now, it's no secret that I'm pretty reckless when it comes to vehicles, whether it's cars, motorbikes, pit bikes, go-karts. I love to go as fast as possible, but surprisingly, in my 35 years, this is the first time I've broken a bone. And even more surprisingly, it wasn't doing anything stupid. So picture the scene, I was sitting there on Christmas Day, watching the children unwrap their presents, sitting cross-legged on a chair, and I went to get up, not realising that my leg had gone dead, my foot folded over, and snap. My mum was just about to shout at me for breaking her chair leg, and I said, no, that was actually my foot. So I had it up in the air with an ice pack on it for the rest of the day, enjoyed the Christmas dinner and all the presents and my new GoPro. But by Boxing Day, I knew there was something not quite right. This is one injury, finally, that I could not walk off. So I went into A&E and they said, yes sir, you've broken your foot. Why didn't you come in yesterday? So anyway, I've been all strapped up for about 3 weeks now. So all the videos that you saw with the Zafira and the Audi MOT were all filmed before Christmas because I had a great plan to hit the ground running in 2021 and try and get 2 videos out for you a week. So I was going to get these ones all ready and then still have the weekly GBS build as well. But ironically, I didn't hit the new year running. I couldn't even walk. So I've been stuck inside for the last 2 or 3 weeks with my foot up in this massive great moon boot. And to be honest, it doesn't hurt that much. It's just really awkward when it's in the boot. So I've probably got another week of this left and I should be walking around again. I did say in the RS6 MOT video that I hardly use it anymore, but lucky I have still got it because it is an auto and I have now lost my clutch foot. So I've just been cruising around in that this week and that's what we're going to use to go and get the bits from Coltec. I've got the cylinder head here ready because that needs a skim. So while I'm doing that and picking that up, I might as well drop the cylinder head off. So then when the engine parts are back here, we can get that built up while the cylinder head is getting skimmed. So it should all work around timescale quite nicely. So it is unfortunate. I'm a bit out of action at the moment, but I am back on my feet. It was a long 2 weeks just sitting there with my foot up, not going out. But from what I've seen on the outside world, you guys haven't really been up to a lot either this year. So it's not all that bad. Lucky I had the videos all ready, so we still had our weekly content coming out. It's not quite as I envisioned, but it worked out well in the end. And now I'm back outdoors and we can start on some progress again. So that's enough talking. Let's get down to Coltec and pick up these bits. So we've got all the bits back at the G Unit. Let's just have a little recap on what we got done because it was a few months ago now that we sent the bits off. So this was a C20XE block out of an Astra GSI and we needed to get it bored out to suit the Omega high compression pistons. So it's bored out to 86.5 millimeters. And also then we had the top deck as well, just to clean it up, just to make sure it's dead flat. So not a lot was taken off, just to make sure it's a machine surface for the head gaskets to go on. And then all the core plugs were taken out and the whole thing was put in the hot tank just to clean it all up, make sure all the gunk and all the oil ways were all nice and clear. And that was shot out and then new core plugs put in. And then, like I said, the Omega pistons, they were actually second hand. So they came with the rings on it. And I was hoping, because they'd only done one dyno run and then they changed their mind, that the rings were still going to be pretty much as good as new. So these were tested in the bores and gapped to suit, and they all came out very well. So that's a big saving there, because the piston rings for these pistons are very, very expensive. So then they put the steel rods out of the Astra off the low compression pistons onto the high compression pistons. So these are all ready to go in and they'll all fit nicely. And then we had the early GTE lightweight crank. So it's got the cutouts to make this the lightweight version, but it's a bit rusty on the journal, so we just needed to get these cleaned up. But they all came out true, just with a polish, so we didn't have to go to the next size of bearings, which is great. So I'd already ordered all the gaskets, everything that we needed from NEVLOCK Performance, which was in this big L-ring box here. So let's open that up and have a look what goodies we've got to go together. So let's see what's in the box. So all these parts came from NEVLOCK Performance. They were recommended by you guys when I asked the question on who to get gaskets and stuff from. And so I spoke to Jordan there and he sorted me out with all these super bits. So to start with, on top, we've got the 8-valve one-piece sump gasket. Got some ARP flywheel bolts. We've got a crank bolt and a spigot bearing for the rear wheel drive setup. We've got a set of main bolts. We've got a water pump. A full set of INA brand new hydraulic lifters. There's 8, 16. We've got a genuine Gates cam belt kit. And then we've got all the gaskets. So this is the top end gasket, all the L-ring that Vauxhall use, and the bottom end. So we've got everything we need to put it all together. So as you can probably guess, this is where the build starts to get expensive. So far, we've done the whole thing on quite a budget. We've got the chassis second-hand, we've got all the parts for the GVS second-hand, we've got the MNR body second-hand, we've got the exhaust system second-hand, the seats. Pretty much everything has been taken off other cars or bought at bargain prices on new old stock, on abandoned builds, and we've been picking everything up on eBay, selecting where we get stuff and just getting some fantastic deals. But there is a time where you have to start spending money. There are cheaper gaskets you can get, but I would not recommend it. The one thing to take away from this, buy the highest quality gaskets, the highest quality belts, everything that you need, because you could spend half as much, but then in a month or so it could blow up and you've just lost all your money. So spending that little bit of extra now on the quality items, again with the machine work, you probably could have got away with a hone and maybe the pistons would have fitted in. But it's definitely worth getting it all done properly, because I'm going to have a solid engine that I'm never going to have to worry about now. These are L-rings, so these are the proper OE gaskets. There are cheaper ones out there, but as soon as you fit them, they are guaranteed to leak. The same with the INA lifters. There are cheaper non-branded ones out there, but within 6 months, the top end will be rattling away and you will regret it straight away. So everything that I've got here from NEVLOCK, which is complete top to bottom gaskets, the lifters, the water pump, the cam belt kit, and all the bolts, the flywheel bolts, the main bolts, the crank bolts, all came from NEVLOCK, and that was just over £400. So there is a possibility you could get cheaper unbranded gaskets, you could get cheaper lifters for probably half that price, but believe me, you will regret it. I gave you the prices all the way through to all the bargains that I had on the kit car so far, so I'll give you all the prices that the machine work cost. So for everything I listed, that did come in at just under £700, which does seem quite a lot of money, but this is precision engineering. To balance a crank, to grind the crank, there's a lot of hours that go into that, and that was all labour. But I'm really happy, and there is no other option. If you want to do it right, pay to get it right first time. I think on the invoice they said there was about 12 hours of labour going into setting everything up, machining everything, and these are the kind of places that you just can't skip. You will regret it in the future, so get it done properly. It's a lot of money, but I know now I'm going to be able to put this engine together and it is going to last with all the abuse I can push at it. And while I was there, I dropped the cylinder head off as well for its light skim, and he said that should possibly be ready for tomorrow. So then we'll have everything here. The only thing I hadn't ordered from NEVLOCK was the bearings for the bottom end because I wasn't sure whether we were going to have to grind these down to the next size or not. But we've got away with standard size, so I'll get them ordered in the next couple of days and we should have everything now to rebuild the engine. That is pretty much all I can do today because the crank is the first thing to go back in, and that's the only thing I haven't ordered is the crank bearings because I wasn't sure whether we're going to be machining them undersized or not. But luckily we've got away with standard sizing so I can get the bearings ordered. So I'll phone up NEVLOCK Performance once again because they sorted me out with all this stuff. I was really impressed. They had it all in stock and got it out to me the next day. So I'll get all the bearings for them. Then the crank can go in, the pistons can go in, the oil pump, the seals, everything can go on the end, the sump can go on. We've got everything here ready to go. So the cylinder head is at the machine shop at the moment. I left that there with them and they said that should be ready for tomorrow. So if we can get that back here, we've got everything to rebuild the head. Get all the valves in, we've got all the valve stem seals, all the gaskets, everything to completely go back together and build it all up. So one thing I haven't missed about being outside in winter is how cold it is. I can't believe how freezing it is out here. I've been indoors nice and cozy for the last 2 or 3 weeks and it has been lovely. So being down here in the freezing cold has been quite a shock to the system. So I'm going to pack all this away for now. We're going to pick up the cylinder head tomorrow and then we can get on rebuilding the whole engine. So that's going to be a really exciting episode. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a like. Comment down below what you think of the selection of parts, if you've got any suggestions about it going together. And make sure you subscribe for lots more kit car content. I hope you enjoyed seeing my boot and I'm sure you found it amusing as most people do. But until next time, make sure you have fun.